everyone. Hi, Tim. Welcome.
Gokce, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. I think this is our sixth episode of this weekly market
Wow,
update.
already. Wow.
Yes, already. Time is passing by.
Time is flying by, yeah.
Yeah,
Even though it feels like it's very slow right now.
yeah. Today we will have the CEO of Arena, Jason Desimone, with us. As you know, I'm doing a market update every week. We will start off with that, and after Tim will have some comments, and then Jason will be joining us.
Yep.
So let's start with the price, as always. Bitcoin price is currently just below 84K, and actually we are doing very well in terms of the price, because looking at the S&P and Nasdaq, the things are going better for Bitcoin. We have seen a low last week, and we have made a 7% up from there. Even though the S&P and Nasdaq is their all year lows, and also looking at the treasuries, we haven't seen these levels since 2007. So it looks like everything American is being sold off, but Bitcoin is doing better than that. There were some price levels that we have been talking. Which one was that 73K, as this was the last year's top. We haven't touched this level, but we have seen 74K and increased from there. So I feel like the new levels that we are going to see right now is between 80 to 85K, as the structure is improving a little bit. Currently, people are buying gold as it is the safe haven, and looking at the price comparison between gold and Bitcoin, as you can see here, historically, first gold increases, then Bitcoin follows up, and we have seen it many times. So we had this narrative before. People are not talking about it that much anymore, but Bitcoin was the digital gold. We lost this narrative, but it worked in the past. So
that's very interesting. So there is that looks like the correlation on it is very high, maybe 75% or so. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So because gold is safe haven, and Bitcoin has the narrative, we lost it a little bit as the newcomers are institutions, and they behave like Bitcoin is a risky asset. So instead of safe haven. So, but I feel like this increase in gold may benefit us in the near future, as it did historically. And on the other front, what is affecting prices is the same. We have the same story. We still have the tariff war going on, and it's heating up. And it will be the main thing affecting the prices, it looks like. So, as you know, Trump paused the tariffs for 90 days. So markets reacted in a positive way. And currently, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told that currently the negotiations are going on, but not all of the tariff deals will be done in 90 days. So it will take longer. And also it means that the trade war will be going on for a longer time. China and Japan have been doing their plays as well. Also, because these are important players, as they are the biggest US Treasury holders. Japan is coming first, China is second, and UK is the third one. So these 90 days is important. It looks like it's going to be longer than that. But my look on Bitcoin has improved since last week, as we hold better than S&P. We are still correlated, and it's not going to be decoupling at all. But at least I see some strength in Bitcoin prices. Yeah, this is my take from the week.
So yeah, I appreciate that. I think from what I've heard from a few market makers, that there's definitely a certain strength in BTC, and it's not from typical buyers. It seems as though for this type of strength, I've been hearing that it's not just Michael Saylor who's buying it, right? He's very I guess vocal about buying BTC every time it dips. He tends to buy what seems like $250 million to $1 billion worth of BTC. But a couple of the market makers are saying that it doesn't seem like it's just him who's buying it. There seems to be some big players that are buying it behind the scenes.
Yeah, I agree with this. I read a report this morning that first quarter was bad for Bitcoin, but we have new 12 institutions that added Bitcoin to their portfolio, looking at the reports, which is nice. So currently, during the first quarter, Bitcoin holdings of institutions has increased 16%. So yes, even though the things didn't look good, they kept buying, and we have newcomers, which is nice, and this also supports your theory about it.
Yeah. So and then going back to what to expect in the economy, I think surprisingly, because of the tariffs, it seems like there's everything that people are talking to in the investment world is the tariffs for sure, because it's impacting a lot of things, right? So there could be sort of a head fake in terms of economic numbers in the US. It might artificially look very strong in April and March, simply because a lot of people are scrambling to accumulate supply, especially foreign ones and Apple products, right? So I've heard that in New York City on the weekends, before they, I guess, removed iPhones and computers from tariffs, the Apple stores were very busy, and people were buying things. And even my wife bought an iPad. She did it and spent about $600 or so on a new iPad, like 2 days before they announced that the tariffs were removed. So so she was sort of forced into buying it or spending money when she really didn't want to do it, but at the same time she sort of knew in the next 4 years she plans to buy one. So I think artificially, I think we're going to see really strong retail sales figures in the US, but then let's see what happens after the in May and June, right? So and in terms of the tariff war, yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what's the latest number in terms of countries that have contacted the U.S. administration to do a trade deal, but the number seems to be growing. But at the end of the day, it's really our biggest trading partners, like you said, right? Japan is certainly one of them, Canada, Mexico, EU, and China. So if we could get good news coming out of those negotiations, I think that the markets will certainly stabilize and feel a lot more comfortable. Now that the new date is in 90 days or so, it was on April 2nd, it got pushed now. So we have to keep tracking the calendar, keep tracking the news over the next few months, right? And uncertainty, again, has been extended. So that's not great for the markets. I think that's why we're sort of seeing all markets trade in a bit of a range, right? So
yeah, correct.
All right.
Correct.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much for the market update. We'll certainly continue to watch the markets and hope for the best. Is Jason in the green room? Should we bring him on? All right,
Yeah.
great. There he is. Hey, Jason.
Hey, guys. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Hello.
So, Jason, let's switch to SoFi. Is it called SoFi or Social-Fi or both?
I call it Social-Fi. Some people call it SoFi.
Okay.
Whichever you prefer.
Okay, let's call it a Social-Fi. So maybe before we get into Arena, if you could do a background on yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, I've been in the space since around 2016, right around when Ethereum was launching and the rise of all these layer ones. Mainly as a builder, worked on a lot of stuff in the early days. Around 2020, I started having this long-term thesis on consumer crypto and this belief that specifically mobile apps that anyone can use would kind of usher in this new wave of adoption. And it was, very early back then. It's becoming more realistic now. The first app that I built is called Rove, and it was built on Solana, launched in 2022. One of the first apps there that got into the App Store, really based around NFT ticketing and loyalty rewards. It's evolved into bigger brand and artists rewards, a reward ecosystem. And then with the rise of, Social-Fi and this new meta at the end of 2023, became a big user of the early apps, Friendtech and Stars Arena back then. Was fascinated by this movement because it really dovetailed off what we had been building. And, as a big user of Stars Arena, when the previous team and all the mismanagement that happened, for anyone remembers, and, the app kind of collapsed, I was, there to kind of pick up the pieces and start the rebuilding process. And 1.5 years later, we're now hitting all-time high metrics, one of the few Social-Fi apps still around, and getting a lot of traction.
Yeah, that's well. I mean, one, it's hard as a business owner to pick up an old project, right? You're not. There is an advantage to having a clean slate and building it as you want to build it. To resurrect an old project is extremely hard to do. But it seems as though you've sort of gone through the initial hurdles, and it seems to be gaining quite a bit of traction. So I guess there are a lot of people that follows Dex a lot that doesn't know what Stars Arena does, or is it just the Arena? Because is it still Stars Arena, or is it the Arena?
No, part of the rebuilding process was a rebrand from Stars Arena to the Arena.
Okay, so maybe if you were telling your grandmother what you're building, explain what the Arena is.
Yes, so the Arena is a social network. You can post written content, you can do social audio and live streaming like we're doing now. And the real value proposition, why someone would use this, is you're able to earn more as a content creator than you can on existing social media apps. And this is because everyone has a built-in wallet. And with crypto, you could be rewarded for your activity and your content creation directly without having to rely on the platform itself. So that's like a really high level of what the Arena is and why someone would use it.
Right. So basically, right now, for every tweet that we send out, or X message that we send out, we don't really get paid for it, right? We're creating content for this platform. The platform itself is generating a lot of money from advertisements and stuff because we're there, right? And we're creating the community, and to a certain extent, depending on how active we are, most likely, we're not going to see a penny, right? So this is really decentralizing that the monetary side of it, and I guess brings ownership to a certain extent to the creators.
100%. You said it perfectly, Tim. Right now, the current social media apps that everyone uses, you mentioned X, Instagram, TikTok, Meta. You are enriching the operators to a massive extent by using it. All right. So the Elons of the world are profiting immensely over your content creation. You see maybe a little bit of that with X payouts monthly, but very little. And if you want to monetize, you have to do it off app. So you have to grow a really big audience and then maybe do some brand deals or sponsorships and form these side deals. With the Arena, you can monetize directly in app. We take very low platform fees and we're giving value back to the content creators. And with the Arena token, everyone has aligned interests in the success of this platform. So this is only really possible with decentralized networks and Web3. Yeah. And we're kind of leading the charge there.
Got it. We'll talk about the token itself a little bit later, but it'll be great to actually see it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it'll be great to get a tour of what Arena is, so people can who haven't been on it, and truthfully, I haven't been active on it, but I want to be. We just logged into the old Dexalot account there, and there's $1,000 worth in the wallet.
Yeah, this is
and I'm like, where did that money come from?
This is not
that's gonna change starting right after this stream. That's going to change.
This is not a unique experience. We have people who come on who say, I've made more in the first 30 minutes, the first 1 hour than I have in my lifetime on my other apps. I actually did share this screen. So if the host can pull it up. Yeah, I'm happy to walk everyone through this. Just as a quick background, I logged on to the Arena in 2 clicks. All right. And you do it by connecting your X account right now. We're soon adding Instagram and TikTok logins as well. But right now you do it with your X account. And once again, it's a 2-click process. And then you have a wallet created for you. And you could fund it with credit card through Stripe and you're off to the races. As you can see here, this is what we call a global feed. All right. So people are posting content, images, GIFs, videos, what have you. We have 2 different tabs. Following is based off who you're following, and trending is more of, an algorithm on what's the most popular content at this point in time. With these, this is like any other timeline where you can you can repost, and you can comment as well. But what's unique is the monetization aspect. So for example, if I really liked this content here, I could tip in almost any, most of the prominent meme coins on Avalanche and soon Solana. Right, I can tip any content creator for their content here, and where this kind of goes to the next level is I can buy a content creator's ticket, okay? And these are priced in AVAX. And what this means is if I kind of believe in a content creator and I think they're going to stay active and I want to really kind of follow them, I can buy a ticket. Once I buy someone's ticket, I get access to a private chat room with all the other ticket holders. And it allows for, a much more intimate experience where you could really kind of get to know the content creator more personally and support them. You can also sell these tickets. So it creates like a dynamic real-time market for buying and selling content creators. And each time you do this, the content creator earns a percentage of the fees. So they earn a lot by doing this. And here are some of the chats, to give you guys like an example. These are active all day. These are, tickets that I own where people are talking more intimately. All right. Now, in addition to that, you could see over here on the live section to the right. Well, first, this is trending. These are the most popular content creators down here right now. And then we have the live section. So we have 2 features here. We have both stages and live streaming. These are getting a ton of traction right now. Stages, I'll open one up. 2 features here. We have both stages and live streaming. These are getting a ton of traction right now. Okay, stages, I just have an echo. I'll open one up. 2 features here. We have both stages and live streaming. These are getting a ton of traction right now. Okay, stages, I just have an echo. I'll open one up. 2 features here. We have both stages
It's like a compatibility issue with StreamYard, it seems like. Yeah.
Hold on, should I log on and come back?
It's like a compatibility issue with. All right, Gokce, I think we need to make some money here.
You should.
No idea.
Yeah, I also have. I just tweeted. I am still using the word tweet. I should say post. I just posted 2 posts on Arena, and I have like 2 AVAX.
Oh, really? Wow. 2?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Okay. I have a feeling I'm not going to get that, but 2 AVAX is quite a bit of money, isn't it?
Yeah, not
That's
bad.
$40 or so.
Yeah.
Just for a tweet. Interesting. Okay.
All right, guys, I'm
Gokce
back.
just
Sorry
made-
about that. Sorry
Gokce
about
just
that.
made $40 on a tweet.
Amazing. Let me share this one more time, and I'll just run through the
Yeah,
rest
go
real
ahead.
quickly.
First.
So, all right, can you guys see this?
It's coming. All right. We're
Great.
back. Yeah.
So we have 2 live features. I'm not going to open them, but I'll just explain what they are really quick. The purple one you see up there is called Stages, and that's like X Spaces, except hosts can monetize. So you could ticket gate it, so only your ticket holders can join, or you could get tips like we talked about. And there's been over 10 million tips sent on this app.
Wow.
Which is, an astronomical number. Hosts are earning a ton of money. People buy their tickets, they tip them. Then below this, we have live streaming. This is our newest feature. This was released a week ago. We're seeing a ton of influx around this. TikTokers, Twitch streamers, they're all coming on. And once again, they're getting tipped in crypto. And one of the benefits here is the instant payouts. So on some of these other streaming platforms, you have to wait like 30 days. But since this is crypto in a wallet, you're getting paid out directly. And you could see who your top supporters are. You could chat with them. And yeah, that's kind of the arena in a nutshell. We have a bunch of really exciting features coming up, including Arena Launch and Arena Dex, to allow sort of tokens to be launched and traded directly in this app and use all of our social features. And yeah, that's kind of it. If anyone wants to check this out, arena.social, and you guys will kind of see a lot of the virality I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, so I guess you talked about a bunch of things. So it's in terms of content creators, they're obviously on many contents. It sounds like you're trying to expand to all the different major social media platforms, right? You mentioned Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. I mean, those are on the way I think about them. I think about them in different ways, but this is sort of a one-stop shop for all of that, it seems.
Exactly. That's how we like to frame this. This is a one-stop shop for all your social and Web3 needs in one place, right? And, going back to SocialFi, I think we're striking the right balance between social features and the financialization. So we don't want to limit who's using our app because we don't have the same network effects as these other platforms. But if we can be a supplement to them, I think very quickly people will see I'm earning more on the arena, and it has all these benefits that only Web3 can enable. And that's kind of our strategy there.
Interesting. And where do you sort of see growth then? Because so I guess I'll take a step back. You talked about a multi-chain future. It sounds like, right? You're currently on Avalanche. You're going to incorporate Solana soon. I guess what's the roadmap in terms of omni-chain or multi-chain?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge believer in sort of a multi-chain future, and I think especially at the social layer, I think if you sort of restrict yourself to one ecosystem, and I'm talking about like at the community layer, not the protocol layer, you're doing yourself a disservice as a social app. So I mentioned in my background in the beginning, I initially built a product on Solana, have a lot of experience in the Solana ecosystem. I'm the most bullish on Solana and Avalanche. I've always been. And I think that, we need to capture as many of these users as we can. And we've been doing that. We're getting users from different chains. So the Solana integration I talked about was mostly around the tipping tokens in particular. So we plan to onboard some of the most prominent Solana communities in the form of tipping tokens. And for users, it's a seamless experience. You have your native Arena wallet, but since we use dynamic, there's also a way to incorporate Solana tokens as well. And this is still built on Avalanche, but we found that the ability for communities to tip in their meme coin is like a viral social experience, and we want to kind of cast as wide a net as we can there.
So will the token itself then be native on Solana as well, or is it only native on Avalanche C chain?
Yeah, it's only native on Avalanche C chain. We will, and this is part of our roadmap, and we're first in Retro 9000 votes. So we are building out an Avalanche L1, and the arena will be much like yourselves, which you guys
Omni-chain,
yeah. You guys have had great success with that. So we're going to kind of follow in those footsteps. We'll have our own L1 with the arena token as a native gas token. And until then, we just plan to stay on the C chain. But we'll see how everything evolves.
Sure, of course. And I guess just going back to creators, I guess a creator could come in all forms, right? You could have the active creator who's just out doing a lot of video and content to entertain, right? You have others that are more informative, talks about, say, the markets, like Gokce can talk more about the markets and news and stuff like that. And then I was just thinking, for companies like us, we all have company accounts. I mean, we don't really think of ourselves as content creators. We're just giving out information about what's going on, with the company. So why would anyone tip us for stuff like that?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So content creators come in all sizes and shapes, as you said, all different types of content creators. We didn't want to limit, based on our tooling, we didn't want to limit who can use this app. All right. So just to kind of address that first question, and then I'll get into, or that first point you brought up, and then I'll get into the company side of it. So when we, took this app over, there was just written content, like text-based. There was just this global feed. Since then, we've added the social audio with stages, and we're seeing, the average stage has 116 listeners, huge feature. We've added live streaming, right? And we're constantly adding new tools, whether you're an artist or whatnot. We're adding, better video tools, better, image uploading constantly to improve the user experience. So this comes in all size and shapes, as I said, and you can kind of find your audience here, regardless of who you are. And I think that's why we're having success in not just Web3, but starting to onboard Web2 content creators as well. Now, what we found, Tim, to your point, is it might seem counterintuitive, like why a company might have success on here, but this is also an incredible platform if you're a Web3 project or company to kind of advertise and reach an audience through. And we found that companies or projects that really make the arena their home base, they're getting sort of direct to an audience that they might not reach otherwise. It's super targeted, and the community really rallies around those that are active here. So, they'll tip if they appreciate what you're doing. We see a lot of companies doing airdrops or giveaways, or actually buying the arena token and becoming an arena champion, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. And then the community is like, whoa, who's this? They're active. Let me check it. Let me check them out. Let me look into Dex a lot. Let me see what they're doing. Oh, let me tip them. Let me buy their ticket. Let me learn more. And it's really becoming like an amazing place for distribution for projects as well. And then with Arena launch, we're seeing new projects come and launch out of here too. So really great flywheel forming.
Yeah. That sounds great. So right now, in terms of, I know it's sort of a work in progress. You're always building on top of it, but so far, like in the last, call it, or in the last 4 months, what have you been seeing in terms of trends, in terms of different types of content? Is it gaming? Is it memes?
Yeah.
Is it?
We're seeing a huge wave of gaming, and that makes sense with the Off the Grid launch, which
Sure.
is the biggest Web3 game ever, and it happens to be on Avalanche. So we're seeing a ton of streamers, in particular, come on and stream, gaming content. We're seeing, this is still like a crypto native app, and the majority of our users are crypto native. So we always see sort of trading alpha, kind of like what you guys were doing before I came on. These sort of posts always has a place here. But we are seeing the rise in other forms of content. And what happens, Tim, which is really interesting, is the arena is kind of a hedge in any market conditions, because when the market's booming and meme coins are flying, this is a great place for people to discuss that, share alpha, and see the newest tokens. Especially if you're an arena champion, you get these airdrops yourself. But when the market's in a tough period like it is now, or a consolidated period, people trend towards more of the social features. So now we're seeing people come on with live streaming. We're seeing musicians come on, bands play music for people. We're seeing chefs share recipes. We're seeing people talk about, tariffs and the macro, political occurrences of the day. We're seeing film people come on and talk about their experience in Hollywood. So this is like really when people are like kind of bored and they want to be around other like-minded people. You start seeing this other content prevail, which is great.
Yeah, that it's sort of interesting because I over the last few days I've sort of gone onto a few of the streams. I think I saw one guy who was trying to stream 30 hours straight, or or something like that. I wasn't sure what he was even talking about, because he must have been 8 hours in or so. So I think he was, running out of things to talk about. It's a little bit like the filibuster thing when we had Cory Booker speak for I forgot how long. I think he started to read a book or say, something like that. But it's interesting. It's interesting how human nature gets really creative when you give them the tools. It seems like as you add more and more stuff, people come up with various things to do. I mean, there are obvious things to do where you're streaming your gameplay and certainly and stuff like that. But just I think we've seen that it's just human nature to be as creative as possible, and this seems to be, especially with a blockchain, and the ability to. I mean, make money. At the end of the day, it's nice to make money, but I think it becomes a side thing, right? It's an incentivization, but at the end of the day, it's probably more of an incentive for people to be creative and showcase that.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. Just really quickly before we go on to the next thing, I just wanted to, because it's related to what you just brought up, I just opened the live tab on the side just to show the current live streams that are literally live right now. So this one is gaming, 183 viewers. But then we have all sorts of things. You see nature here. You see, it's hard to always tell from the initial image, but it's mostly people just really kind of chatting and connecting, request a song on the piano, all sorts of things forming here. And then one other part of the app I didn't really get into was the wallet. I'm not going to kind of open it here, but you could see all the tickets that you hold, all the tokens. And like I said, you have this fiat on-ramp through Stripe. So I just also wanted to round out the tour of the app and show you guys the type of content, literally like right now on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I hear you. Now you mentioned the arena champion. What is that?
Yeah, so let me actually pull this up real quick. Okay, so if you can still see the screen. So the arena champion is a list. It's a leaderboard of the top 500 stakers of the Arena token. Okay, so we have a staking program. We had a very large airdrop, and since that point, we've introduced a staking mechanic. Like I said, there's over 10,000 people staking. The top 500 are what we call Arena champions, and they get this little badge. You could see this orange badge next to them. Now, if I click on any of these users, so I'm on this guy's profile, right, Yoshi, you'll see his first badge is this Arena champion badge. Now, what this is it's a dynamic badge. So as long as you're in the top 500, you have it. As soon as you become 501 or lower, you lose it. So in real time, you're incentivized to stay on this. And I keep using this word flywheel, but this creates a beautiful flywheel effect for Arena champions. So, what are you getting as a champion? Well, you're getting weekly staking rewards, which in this case is the form of Arena tokens, and it's single-sided staking with 30% APY. But you're also getting a piece of anything that launches from the Arena. So any Arena launch token that graduates 2.5% of the supply is distributed to Arena champions automatically. It doesn't matter if you were sleeping during the launch, if you missed it, you wake up to this in your wallet. And what this does for the project loves this because they're like, I just got 500 diamond handers, the most influential people on the Arena, to now hold my token. Whereas how hard would that have been if I just launched, out in the wild? Like, how would I have got these guys to know about my token? And so the projects love it. The Arena champions love it because they're getting sort of yield. But more importantly, it's not just yield. It's not just US dollars. They're getting a piece of all the projects that launch here from friends they've made, from the newest people coming on the chain. And it's really like, once again, social and financial benefits. Now, since Arena launch hasn't launched yet, we've managed to secure all the popular airdrops for Arena champions. So they got Ket, they got Wink, they got Blub, they got every single sort of high profile Avalanche launch in the last, month or so since this was live, or last couple of months. They've gotten this as, automatically from being champions.
So when you say launch, the launch is really an airdrop, or is that an ability to buy at like a private sale?
It's an airdrop, so you get it without having to put any money in. And when I say Arena launch, we have a bonding curve fair launch tool being built. You can use Pump Fund as an example, but imagine when the token graduates, 2.5% of the supplies automatically being airdropped proportionally to the champion. So number one gets more than number 500, and you're incentivized to keep rising the ranks. And then the token, this is not like Pump Fund where you launch a token, then you have to set up a Telegram, you have to set up an X account, you have to set up, you then have to trade it off app. You get all the social benefits in the Arena, and you become a tipping token, right? So imagine like a popular live streamer comes on with hundreds of thousands of followers, and you're tipping them in your token, which you're trying to spread awareness of. The whole thing kind of plays off each other. One other thing I'll mention about Arena Champions is it started as just individuals, right? So it started as just 500 users. Now what we're seeing is projects. So I'll scroll down this, but you see number 8, Autistic Boys Club. That's a project who bought enough Arena tokens and staked them to become number 8. And now what are they doing? Well, they're getting all of these rewards by being a champion that they're distributing to their holders. So Autistic Boys Club doesn't want to have to go out and find all of these airdrop opportunities themselves. They'd rather build. They leave that to us, and they're showing buy-in to the community. So it's super cool. Now we have, I think, around 10 projects that are Arena champions and more. So each time this happens, it's just more people buying Arena and staking it. And right now we have 1.2 billion. Over 60% of the circulating supply is being staked right now from an airdrop. Wow. So it's pretty crazy.
And when you're staking it, is it just a one-time stake, or are you committing to locking it up for a short period of time?
It's one time. You can come and go when you want. We put no.
It's very liquid. Okay, got it.
Super liquid, but no one's withdrawing. They're adding more. And
That's
the
great.
way we've done this is we had an airdrop, which vests monthly over 12 months.
Okay.
So people are getting their airdrop still from their previous activity when they were earning points, all the way back to the Stars Arena days. And then each month that they get this airdrop, like the vast majority of users are just staking it, because if you don't stake it and everyone else is, you're falling lower on the leaderboard. So it's really gamified.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. I guess it'll be good. We have a few more minutes. It'll be great to just understand what the roadmap is for the next, call it, 8 months.
8 months, yeah.
Rest of the year.
Yeah. So we just got through like a huge bulk of our roadmap when we were launching. Just in the last 4 months alone, we've launched Arena Stages and Arena Livestream, two massive features, in addition to a lot of these other things that you see in the app, constant improvements. Going forward, our next most immediate launches are Arena Launch and Arena Dex. So not only can people launch tokens, but you could trade natively in the arena. So imagine in a social post you say, "I love this token with a ticker." People can buy that in 2 clicks. It's part of the social experience. Those are our next immediate launches. After that, we're going to continue to improve live streaming. We have some really exciting next features on, and big campaigns to keep onboarding like TikTokers and Twitch streamers and all these sorts of people. After Arena Launch, Arena Dex, and the V2 of the live stream, or alongside it, we have a bunch of quality of life improvements that we're making to this app. Better discoverability, which right now is probably our weakest point, and more social tools for people to use. This is going to coincide with the launch of Arena in the App Store, the official App Store. So it will no longer be a web app, but this will be available in iOS and Android as well, which will just increase our distribution drastically. Right now we have 300,000 users. We think when we get that reach, and then we have TikTok logins, Instagram logins, and you could download this as an app, we're really going to kind of hit hopefully escape velocity. And then just to round this out, like second half of the year, our biggest focus is on what we talked about earlier and what you guys have already done, which is becoming an Avalanche L1. And we left this up to a governance vote, and it was voted 90% to 10% in favor of this, with over $3 billion.
90%.
Yes.
That's amazing.
One other huge feature, that is important because we're going to continue to improve this. There's just a lot going on here, is we have the Arena App Store as well. So we have a native app store where right now we have one main app called the Pit Game, which is a huge play to earn game. And then we also have Cast 3, which is it's like decentralized advertising. You can pay people to promote your post on the arena with Arena tokens. We have a ton of new apps being built that will be in the Arena App Store. And all of these things add to this vision of the L1, because now we have dApps being built on top. We have tools, huge builder community. And the vision is like Arena becomes this layer 1 for SocialFi. You have your digital identity, your reputation, your financial score, and then all of these sort of dApps and games and tools could plug in on top of that. That's kind of the vision, and the Arena token powers it all.
Yeah, and I guess if you guys are building a DEX to a certain extent, keep in mind we're sort of a liquidity hub, right? So
exactly.
In the future, we could do a connection between the Arena and DEX a lot, and share in the liquidity for sure.
Our whole ethos is sort of collaboration and growing this holistically as a community. I think we've steered this in the right direction as a team, and now with this layer 1 vision, it's going to be all about finding the proper integrations and collaborations.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go and make sure I connect properly. I'll probably ping you if I have trouble. But at the same time, I just want to thank you for joining us. I think a lot of people. I know you guys are growing, but we're still growing. Just talking more and more about the really strong projects that are listed on Dexalot is really important for us, because I think it's not just about the tokens and trading and stuff like that, but there's a story behind every single token, and there's a founder and a team and all that, and you guys are definitely building something incredible, and would love to have you back in a few months or so, or several months, and check in and to see where you guys are. But it sounds like your roadmap is pretty heavy, which is great for all content providers and users alike. So
yeah, no, thank you guys both so much for having me on. It was an absolute pleasure, and I do want to kind of remind all the people listening, whether you're from the Arena or from the Dexalot side, or just tuning in, that the Arena token is trading on Dexalot right now. And we have sort of the incentive program with you guys. So it's been amazing to see your growth as well. You guys have been an inspiration, especially on the Avalanche L1 side, to kind of see how you guys have really done that and grown because of it. And super excited to keep, figuring out ways to collaborate, as you said.
Awesome. All right, great. Thanks so much, Jason. Gokce.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Yeah.
Next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.